Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Lainey Hauser and today we're going to hit the hot topic of being a people pleaser. All the people pleasers out there, please raise your hand. Or recovering people pleasers, raise your hand. Most of you are probably people pleasers. It is a disease among the Christian community, this people pleasing thing and thinking that we have to make everyone happy. Unfortunately, what I know about people pleasers is they're usually some of the most miserable people on earth. They're usually anxious and frustrated and resentful and overwhelmed and stressed out and depressed. They feel like they're not good enough. They feel like they can never measure up. They feel like they can do anything right. They feel like the victim all the time that life happens to them. People pleasing is an invasive disease that will steal your soul. I am a fully recovering and recovered people pleaser. And I'll tell you what, never in my life have I pleased so many people by being the real, authentic me and not making up stories about what I think others need or want. You see, people pleasers are some of the most frustrated and frustrating people to be around because they're continually having to monitor and figure out what everyone else thinks in order to live up to that kind of expectation. What an exhausting way to live. What an enormously taxing, difficult way to live our lives, right? The thing is, you can never please everyone else. You can't. It's impossible. In order to please everyone else, you would have to know exactly what they are thinking all of the time, 100% of the time. And even if you did know that, which you would be God if you did know that, you wouldn't please them 100% of the time. God doesn't please us 100% of the time. In order to be a fully successful people pleaser, you must make up stories about what you think people need in order to please them. For example, yesterday someone came in my office and we're just starting to get to know each other, and she said to me, "Oh, you're probably tired of hearing me talk about all this right now." And I said, "Well, did you just make up a story about that?" Do you see? I never once communicated that I was tired of listening to her. I delight in hearing stories. I delight in hearing complaints and the things that you're struggling with, because I know it's an opportunity to speak into that and to help you overcome and to be at a better place in your life. So I said to her, "No, what was the story that you made up about me in your head?" And we had a great little conversation and a little laugh about the story that she made that I must be tired of talking to her, which in turn would then mean that she would need to leave or go somewhere else or do something to please me, to fulfill her little story that she made up in her head. Another example is earlier this week, I had someone come into my office and I said, "Okay, what time should we meet next week?" And she said, "Well, I don't know. I get off work at 4. I could be here by 4:45. Well, maybe I could be here by 4:30. And I said, "Now try that again. Pick a time you know that you can make, and then tell me what time that you will be here, and notice how that feels." And so she started all over and she said, "I'll be here at 4:50. And then I said, "Now you do whatever it takes to get yourself here at 4:50 so that you're on time, because being on time is a part of having a happy life. It means that you're standing in integrity and standing up for yourself." So she said, "Okay, I'll be there at 4:50. Do you see the difference between, I don't know what time. It made her completely anxious and has the potential to make the receiver also very anxious. But when you're standing firm in your commitments and you know what you're going to do and what you believe in, you're unstoppable. No one can shake that. People pleasers can never ever please anyone any of the time. I'd like to propose that by people pleasing, you please no one any of the time, and you live a miserable life. How do I know that? Because you never please yourself, and you're always making up stories about what everybody else wants. How do you overcome? How do you change your ways so that you're a recovering or recovered people pleaser? Well, you begin to dig deep. deep into the deepest part of you and ask yourself what you really want. I talk on the phone many times a week with different people, just asking them different questions. And one of the questions I love to ask people is, what do you want? And do you know that very rarely someone can tell me what they want? I know that when they can't tell me what they want, that I've met a full-blown people pleaser. If you don't know what you want, spend some time this afternoon, right now, write down some things that you really want. Take out a notebook or a journal or a piece of paper and just begin to write down some of your dreams, some of your desires. What do you really want from life? What do you really want from life in the next week or moment? Do you want better relationships? Stop people pleasing. Stop going from what everyone else wants and look at what you want. God created you. He designed you as a creative, intelligent being. And the moment that we begin to be creative and to use our minds and to put our minds to use for creating things in our life that we love and being fully invested in our own lives, is the moment that everyone else becomes fully invested in us as well. And we have so much to give to everyone else. By people pleasing, as a people pleaser, all I'm thinking about, even if it's subconscious, is what do I think that you want so that I can behave in a way that is pleasing to you so that you will like me? That's exhausting, friends. I want to encourage you to spend some time right now writing down what you want. What do you really want? Getting to know yourself and being authentic you and true to yourself is the quickest way out of being a people pleaser. From there, you can explore how to set boundaries, how to love yourself, how to build your self-esteem, how to build a life that is abundant and full and joyful and happy. But it starts at the very beginning of asking yourself, what do you really want? What stories do you make up about everyone else in your world so that you can design your life around all of the stories that you've made up in your head? It's exhausting. There's a bigger life waiting for you. There's a more creative life waiting for you. Get out there and create. All right, you guys, until next time, check yourself into People Pleaser Academy and get out of people pleasing by getting to know yourself and loving yourself. Until next time, I'll see you later. Love you.